Welcome back. Episode number 7. Where has the time gone? Is my first question, but joined yet again by the co-host Chris. We're both in a rush today, considering both of our teams are playing at home. But how are you? I know what the answer is going to be, but how have you? And I'm sure you've had an absolutely fantastic weekend.
Yep, good evening. It is a good evening, isn't it? Good weekend. Well, a bit of a mental weekend. Not good. I will say not good for my heart. I will say that much. But yeah, I'm just my usual self as always. And how is everyone else? If anyone's in the comments, yeah.
Hopefully the comments actually show up. So I have got my I've got the stream on my phone just in case the comments on stream.
I've been having problems with it.
Yeah.
The comments wouldn't show up on screen. Where it pops up. Where you have. Well, it doesn't pop up, so I have to keep I'm streaming on my phone as I am now.
Yeah.
And I have to keep going back out the screen, pausing it to check the comments. It's just mad.
But you're good. All good with Liverpool obviously winning the League Cup final. Great final that was.
1 out of 4. 3 more to go.
Don't, because I'm already worried about that. But we're definitely gonna. You don't want to, but I'm definitely going to move straight away from Liverpool Football Club because it's really irritating. But it doesn't matter because there's a lot of our lovely sport of darts that was underway and is coming up in the future weeks. And the first one that we're going to talk about, obviously, was what happened over the weekend. It was the International Darts Open, the first Euro Tour of the calendar. Now, I've got the bracket up. I will go through each quarter, first of all, to just break down the tournament. So from the first quarter, I don't think many people predicted Nathan Aspinall, James Wade in that quarterfinal. You know, Joe Cullen was in there, which I thought Cullen was going to win that quarter, but it was Nathan Aspinall. And are we seeing Nathan Aspinall get back to pre-wrist injury form?
Hopefully. Hopefully, fingers crossed. As I love to watch you about Aspinall, as to do with other players. Just the way he came into darts, wasn't it? I mean, what a story! And I think getting that brace off his arm probably does help a bit more. I think his arm's starting to fully recover. Oh well, definitely on its way to recovering. And I think that's a good one. It's a good one for him, isn't it? For Nathan Aspinall. I know. You know my opinions on these tournaments. I don't really count them as big TV tournaments that are normally the big 12. Well, the normal 12, as we say. But this is like the equivalent of tennis, isn't it? Where Nadal obviously loves these type of tournaments, like the Open, international Opens, and all that. All tournaments. It does help you to go into the next tournament, the big tournament coming up, which we'll talk about. So I think it's good for Aspinall to get that momentum.
Yeah. To be fair, it was a good run from Aspinall, to be fair. But looking at some players along the sort of route to this quarter, some players that need big years, Devin Peterson losing in the second round, but even players in the first round that came in, first of all, Adam Gavlas, someone that a lot of people have high praise for. He lost in the first round where I think he probably could have beat Vincent in that game, but Vincent towards the back end of it was absolutely unbelievable. But is there anyone in this first quarter that you were either disappointed with or didn't think we're going to do that well, or do you think apart from obviously Aspinall that we've mentioned, pretty straightforward of how we thought it was going to go?
I think obviously Peterson is the obvious one.
Yeah.
Because he needs a big year, doesn't he? And I mean, I would say Joe Cullen. I know that might sound harsh, but I just think Joe Cullen if you're talking about right now, in my opinion, Joe Cullen not should be beating Aspinall, but he would be favourite, if you're being honest, in that game against Nathan Aspinall.
Yeah.
And nothing else I'm not really much surprised about, apart from Kimai Press getting, well, the storyline against James Wade. I expected that to be a lot more closer. And even Kimai Press potentially turning Wade over and pulling his pants down. So, yeah, I think Joe Cullen's the most surprising one. I mean, it's not surprising with Devin Peterson with the bad form he's in. Well, he seems to be in bad form at the moment. He has been for months now. So, yeah, Joe Cullen is obviously, I think, my surprise one with the form he's been in recently.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, wouldn't have expected him to throw an 87 average against an injured Nathan Aspinall. But second quarter of the draw, then the second part of the top half of the draw saw Gerwyn Price win that quarter with a 6-4 win over Danny Knopp. A couple of notable performances. Noppy actually losing in that match against Gerwyn Price. I thought Noppy played excellent throughout the weekend, beating a very good Van Gerwen in that game. Van Gerwen missed darts at 4-4, I think it was, or 4-3.
I think it's 4-4, yeah.
Yeah, to go 5-4 up on Noppy, and I think that was on the Van Gerwen throw as well. So, losing his throw to Noppy. But Keane Barry as well, decent performance from him, but the reign of Gerwyn Price continues. As we'll talk more about when we get to like the semi-final and the final, but again, Gerwyn Price just looks unstoppable at the moment.
Yep, continuing from that mad night in the Premier League he had. Impressive performance from quarters to the final on that night. Done on the Pro Tour as well, wasn't he? Gerwyn Price as well. And yeah, I think he came at the right time, of course. I think for obvious reasons as well. As we'll probably get onto. And yeah, it's as you expect from Price. It's just like normal surface resumed, and you got a big old grin on your face now, haven't you? About what's to come. But yeah, Gerwyn Price, not surprised really, in my opinion.
Yeah, was there any surprises in there? I think it went pretty much as straightforward as I expected, apart from Noppy beating Van Gerwen. But we mentioned Van Gerwen did miss darts at 4-4.
I think Noppy, he was stood for the whole last year, wasn't he? That's why he shoot up the PC or the merit. So it's not as much of a surprise with Noppy. But I think there were a few disappointments in that bracket in terms of the first round.
Ryan Searle.
I think he should be beating Whitty Edhouse. I'm sorry, he should be.
Yeah,
and
100%.
And anything else? Yeah, I don't think anything else is much of a shock, in my opinion, from that bottom half.
I'll tell you one thing that is going to be a shock is in this next quarter of the draw, and it's glaringly obvious as you see Brian Roman knocking out the second seed, Jose de Souza, and then went on to absolutely collapse against Dimitri Vandenberg, a whole 13 points average.
That curse then.
Sudovic as well. Krzysztof Ratajski. There's a lot of seeds in this section of the draw that dropped.
But Minster Surface is not a surprise. Come on, that's not a surprise with all due respect to him, especially when he's against Vandenberg. Because I love to watch Liverpool about Vandenberg, and I thought Vandenberg would do a job on him. But yeah, De Souza, he's just been poor, hasn't he? Poor in the World Championship. Poor in this bloody tournament as well, in this Open. I know playing with a man who's obviously bursting onto the scene in terms of moving to the PDC.
Yeah.
But come on, you don't expect De Souza to not beat him comfortably, but I did expect De Souza to get over the line. In that one, so.
De Souza started to drop, which is worrying. He needs to get some wins very, very quickly. Another person that was, obviously I'm going to have a massive smile about this, Louis Williams for the second time on the Euro Tour
Good win.
beat Krzysztof Ratajski. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about Williams because I don't want it to be biased. I'm going to talk about the other player in the match. Krzysztof Ratajski is not winning games that usually, like 2 years ago, 18 months ago, Ratajski wins this 6-0, but 6-1 to 6-2. He doesn't lose it. But now he's losing these games that he should be winning.
Yeah, we're Mardo, Fifth Mardo being teared about Krzysztof Ratajski. He'll keep putting him as his pretty outside of every tournament, but I can't talk because I have for. I don't know. It's just one of them players, Krzysztof Ratajski. He's like, you should put him as an outsider, but he always fucking flops when you put him as an outsider. To say.
Well, that's why I said Worlds. I said
This why you don't put him as an outsider. This why you don't. Don't say his name. Then he'll do on a pretty one.
He done that in the I can't remember what tournament it was. Was it the match play? Everyone just didn't mention his name, and he went on to, I think it was the quarters, wasn't it, or the semis?
Semis, I think
semis,
it was.
Yeah. So it's crazy that if you don't back someone, they go on and do really well. And maybe Ratajski's one of those that sort of bottles under the pressure potentially. But apart from that, Botajski. I'll tell you what, that must be a Polish beer or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be trying to be like Tyson Fury in his press conference today.
Oh, Fury is some mental guy. But anyway, that's all for me in terms of the shocks on that section. And unless you have any potential, shocks that you didn't see happening.
Oh, Rob Cross is the obvious one.
Oh yeah, Rob Cross. To be fair, I wasn't even looking at the first round. Yeah, Rob Cross losing 6-1 to Kachuk. Kachuk actually.
I mean, it's a good player, Krzysztof Kachuk, but I still expected Rob Cross to still win that game.
To be fair, Kachuk should have beat Clayton in the game after as well. He missed darts to beat Clayton.
Yeah, very true. So this side that it's national open for you, we'll probably see some shots because it always works that way, doesn't it? In every year in pretty darts.
Hopefully, the tournament that we're going to talk about towards the end of the show, we see a load of shocks in that, but we won't jump the boat. And the last section of the draw then was that one, which was Peter Wright winning the section. There is some in there that you could potentially say, like Smith, Dolan maybe on his day, Van Duijvenbode on his day, but I don't think many people predicted anything other than Peter Wright getting over the line. And was it what you expected, Peter Wright, Michael Smith?
Yeah, definitely. Peter Wright, Michael Smith, definitely with the way. Even though Michael Smith is a bridesmaid, I will keep on saying it, to be a pain in the backside for everyone. But I still respect Michael Smith. If not, I'm not bridesmaid, and I'd say with his dame, I expected him to be meeting Peter Wright in that dame.
Yeah,
and not many surprises, if I'm being honest with you, apart from that German Nicole Springer. He's in the UK Open, I think, as well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, good performance as well. 94 average against Peter Wright. Only lost 6-2. It's still quite convincing, but to take 2 legs off the world champion, I mean, and
it's not bad at all.
Beat 2 very good players. Oh, I wouldn't say very good, but capable players. I know Watamina's dropped off, but he's still capable, and we know.
Brendan Dawn's more capable than Watamina.
Yeah.
Then Brendan Dawn's like one of these outsiders in every tournament, along with Krzysztof Ratajski and all of them. So it's just one of them players you do not want to get. If you're one of the big 3 players, when you talk Brendan Dawn, he ends up pretty pulling your pants down. Like
doing Price in the Players Championships, he beat him, didn't he, on the main stage?
I'm pretty sure he beat Peter Wright. Not last year. I think the year before. In the same tournament, I think it was the Players Championship.
That's why I do kind of potentially fancy him to go on a little bit of a run at the UK Open. He likes these type of he likes Minehead a lot, Brendan Dolan. I've noticed that in the UK Open and in
Just
the
on the Masters as well.
championships. Yeah. Let's go on to the first semi-final then. It was Nathan Aspinall taking on Gerwyn Price. Now,
I won it, and my favourite player and your pretty favourite player.
yeah, I know you might try and back your player, but I didn't see any other outcome.
Oh, no. I still said Price to win.
Yeah. I don't even have anything to say about that one, to be honest. Second semi-final, though, I actually did watch this game. I missed the Gerwyn Price game, but I actually watched this Clayton Wright game. Johnny Clayton, apart from obviously losing by 4 legs, didn't do much wrong. Peter Wright was just, I hate saying this, but Peter Wright just done the right things at the right time. And it just seemed like Peter Wright just is starting to build this part of his game where he's playing potentially awful to average and he's still getting the wins, which is a great habit to have. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to have that. I have to average about 70, 80 just to get a win. But yeah, 7-3 win for the world number 2 and the world champion. And did you expect that to be a lot tighter? Look, Johnny Clayton and Peter Wright are 2 of the 4 best players in the world right now. And I really did think that he was going to, keep that game a little bit tighter than what it was.
Yeah, I expected it to be tighter, but at the same time, it is like Peter Wright always seems to do this. He always seems to do a job on whoever he faces. Like if it's Keaton or Van Duren, maybe not Price, because I think Price seems to have a good record over Peter Wright whenever they seem to play in the previous tournaments. But I think. I mean, the story I'd probably say it was an easy win, but it really wasn't. Just Peter Wright, as you said, did the right things at the right time, and that's what the best players in the world do.
Yeah,
simple as that.
Talking on to the best players in the world, then, a certain Welshman keeps his world number 1 crown, an 8-4 win over Peter Wright. And in the interview, he said, you're going to have to wait if you want to take that world number 1 title off me. First of all, an 8-4 win in a game that was basically to keep your world number 1 status. Not only is that credible and, a massive achievement to do that under that pressure, because Peter Wright was going into that game with no pressure whatsoever, because it was just play my game. If I win, I'm the world number 1. Gerwyn Price had so much pressure on his shoulders, like I need to win this if I want to keep that world number 1 crown. How important is this battle going to be between these 2 this year for darts?
I think it'll bring even more attraction to darts, in my opinion. I think it'll bring more fans in, more audience in. As much we'll say previous years, we have said Price, Wright, Van Duren, top 3. It's not been a one-away thing. But it really has, because the top 3 were normally dominating the tournaments before this debacle came along with the lockdown and all that. And so, I mean, it's going to be. I think it'll flip off like Ray Mardo's opinions every month, in my opinion. Where I can see it. I can really see it change and the number 1 slot change and a lot. Like I can see Peter Wright being number 1 after a tournament, whichever tournament it is, and then Durham Price winning that back. I think it'd be like a pretty. It'd be like a Hamilton Verstappen battle in F1, where the year Keith Jensen and all the way to the year, in my opinion.
The only one that's going to benefit from that consistently is the sport, which is always a good thing.
And I think it might help Van Duren a little bit to say Price and Mike taking taking tournaments of each other, and
because
everything with Van Doren. I'm Van Doren might think to himself, just ignore that battle. Yes, Mike Van Doren will think just doing my job, and all of a sudden, by the end of the year, he could be back in the weights.
Well, not just that. You've got a situation. You could potentially be in a situation where you've got Gerwyn Price and Peter Wright battling for the world number one, and then Gerwyn Price not Gerwyn Price, Michael Van Gerwen just picks up a couple of trophies, and then ultimately he's about 50 grand off the world number one because they're too focused on each other. And it could help someone like a Johnny Clayton as well, Van Gerwen and Clayton, if they just keep picking up titles along the way.
Then it all closes all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, the next topic, I know there was none of this on Thursday, but there is the return of the Kazoo Premier League of Darts. And
which was strange, wasn't it? Last week.
Yeah. But we do return for the Premier League. I'll move that down a little bit. And we return to Exeter. Say whatever you want about Exeter, but it is Exeter that we
should be in Plymouth, really. Well, Plymouth is in pretty Devon, but
yeah. I would prefer in Newport, to be honest, but there we are.
But I have to say the same for the Sun Centre at Pretty Carlisle as well.
But we do return to the Premier League of Darts. Not going to go through the table because it was exactly the same as we done last week. But Johnny Clayton taking on Michael Van Gerwen as quarterfinal 1. Michael Smith taking on Joe Cullen as quarterfinal number 2. Gerwyn Price against Peter Wright for quarterfinal number 3. And then James Wade takes on Gary Anderson. First of all, the world number 1 and world number 2 will be playing each other in a game that will not affect any of their rankings. So I've got a little theory on this. I'll let you, go through that one first. But we will start off the top, because that's how we should do it in chronological order. But I do have a little theory when we come to the Price Right game. But the first one, Johnny Clayton, Michael Van Gerwen. Which way do you see that one going?
I think it's a bit harsh on here to say not being his best. I think he's been in the middle, the 90 average. He's not been like the consistent player he was recently, 100 over 100 from the past year. Van Doren for me is in the better type of form in my opinion, but I think still be a equal game. I think it could go all the way, but the first game in the Premier League doesn't really seem to go all the way for some reason. It always seems to be one player will run away with the game. But I can't see that. I don't know, it might happen, but I'm going to edge towards Michael Van Doren. I'm not trying to spoil my predictions, obviously, from what I've done. But yeah, I think Michael Van Doren just to edge it, in my opinion.
I've gone Michael Van Gerwen as well, but I've not gone him to edge it. I've gone 6-2. I think Van Gerwen puts Clayton to the sword in this one. So I've got Van Gerwen through. The second quarterfinal, Michael Smith against Joe Cullen. Pre-tournament, I thought this was going to be a game where, both players would desperately need a win at this point. But Joe Cullen's actually settled well into the Premier League, hasn't he? And it's Michael Smith, the one that potentially people thought would be in the top 4. But a big game, both players need a win for obvious reasons. Joe Cullen wants to get into that top 4. Michael Smith needs a win from somewhere. Is Michael Smith finally going to get his first win?
Nah, I don't think so.
Wow.
I'm not saying this because he's a prize mate and all that. I'm just saying it as I just think Joe Cullen is. I think Joe Cullen's in the better place in terms of this tournament, the Premier League, not in terms of form, because I think Michael Smith's not played that bad. It's a winnable game for Michael Smith, in my opinion. With all due, I say with all due respect that all fucking quality players are. Sorry for swearing, but not sorry.
This is the game Michael Smith would want in this week. He would not want Clayton Van Gerwen, Wright or Price, 100%. I don't think he wants James Wade, because I thought James Wade played very well at the weekend in the International Open, and no one ever wants Gary because you just don't know what Gary's going to turn up. I think this is probably the game that probably is not the easiest, but the best suited for where Michael Smith's game is at right now.
Because it can go either way, in my opinion, between both of them, Smith and Cullen. And I just think I don't think it will be a comfortable storyline. I do think it will be both players will. Both players. I just think both players will give it. I think it'll be a battle for them. I mean, Smith could win it. I wouldn't be shocked if Smith does win, by the way, because he needs to get off the mark at pretty some point. But I just, like I said, I just fancy Cullen at the moment.
I've got Michael Smith in this one. I think he finally gets a win. Watch now, he'll lose 6-0. The next match then is the one that, if this was a ranking event, every single eye would be on this. I'm going to jump on this quick and say a quick theory, which I think could happen. Now, Peter Wright has just lost a game to Gerwyn Price that would have put him as world number one. He's got a massive tournament coming up at the weekend in the UK Open, the first major of the year. I think we're going to see some makeshift darts from Peter Wright in this one, just to test him out. And then I think he'll lose to Gerwyn like 6-1, 6-2, something like that. He'll throw them in the bin and go back to his straight barrels for the UK Open. I'm going to go 6-1 Gerwyn Price. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to turn up with some weird darts, get battered, chuck them in the bin, and go back to his his World Championship darts. So I'm going 6-1 Gerwyn Price, comfortable win.
I actually, you can say it comfortable. I have also gone for a comfortable win to Gerwyn Price, even though Gerwyn Price has stopped that penalty curse over him for this season, where whoever seems to win a night at penalty darts, then the week after seems to lose a quarter-final match with Johnny Curtin. He won one with Peter Wright, he won one, and then he lost in the quarter-finals the first day of that night. But I think that curse will end here, and I just think Gerwyn Price is too. I'm not saying Peter Wright is not too good, but I just think Gerwyn Price, I can't see that curse happening then. This is the form Gerwyn Price is in right now. Because you can look at them previous two with Peter Wright and Johnny Curtin, they didn't really have like a international open tournament like the weekend, for example. I think they had like a week off. I know they were playing Pro Tour as well. But yeah, I just think Gerwyn Price, I don't know if a 6-3 win to Gerwyn Price.
Yeah.
As I said, I absolutely agree with you as well with Peter Wright. He's got the UK Open coming up, and I just think that will play a part, in my opinion, and testing darts out. Probably testing the £5 darts out from pretty hard net, on Peter Wright.
Yeah. So what, he changed darts mid-game in the International Open. I can't remember what game it was. If someone in the chat remembers or seen it, then let us know in the chat. But I remember I was watching the game and I went to get a drink or something.
Must be an early round because
I went to get
got all the way to the final, didn't they? And
you never know. He probably changed it in the final. He didn't. But I came from the kitchen to get my drink, and then I just saw Peter Wright like that with his darts case. I was like, "Oh, what are you doing, Peter?" But I'm
surprised. I'm surprised he hasn't got a big old massive suitcase with the amount of pretty darts.
Imagine that onto the stage, wheeling your suitcase up the ramp.
Never mind the darts case. Peter Wright be pretty big old suitcase.
Yeah. James Wade, Gary Anderson, last quarterfinal of the night.
What an awful game to predict. Honestly.
Yeah. I've heard someone say this before on Twitter that the 3 previous games are going to overshadow this game, and I think it could be an absolute stinker. But then again, Gary could easily come and perform. Wade could easily perform. I don't want to predict it because I think it's going to be so hard to predict. But based off, the only thing I'm basing it off, and I know you could be saying in the comments, well, that's a crap prediction if you're basing it off this. But the only thing I'm basing it off is James Wade has played more darts recently, so I'm going to go 6-5 James Wade. That's literally the only bit of logic I have.
At first, I did say Darry Anderson, but I just think it's a risky. It's always risky at the moment picking Darry Anderson because you don't know which one's going to turn up. The weather is more predictable than Darry Anderson at the moment. So I am going to change my opinion because I was very impressed with James Wade at the International Open.
Yeah.
So I am going to edge towards James Wade in this game. And yeah, I think James Wade, he reached the final, didn't he, of the Aspinall night as well. And yeah. I think he'd be one to us, I'm telling you.
Yeah, he did reach the final. So someone made a very interesting point about James Wade, and he went on to reach the bloody final. I don't know who that idiot was. He must be an absolute head case. But moving on to the semi-finals then. So my semi-final lineup is Michael van Gerwen against Michael Smith, and Gerwin Price against James Wade. And the only change is Cullen for you.
Yep, sure, Cullen.
So just tell me your final and who you think wins it for night number 4 of the Premier League.
But I haven't changed my opinion on the final. I haven't changed my opinion on that. I'm still sticking with the same final of Michael van Gerwen against Gerwin Price.
Yeah, same here.
And we do have difference of opinions. But I can't see in a parallel world where Mike van Gerwen doesn't win a Premier League night.
Yeah,
he's due to win one at some point, in my opinion. So that's why I've done towards Michael van Gerwen. But it should be a classic, in my opinion. But that I think that's a chance because with some finals, they haven't been classics after, apart from Price Wade, which was the last one. And that's Premier League night. So
the first one was awful, wasn't it? Between Wright and Clayton. Wright absolutely annihilated Clayton in that final.
And Clayton versus Cullen as well, because I thought Clayton just had it under control.
Yeah, that last week, or not last week, but night 3 was just wow. Gerwin Price, another 9 data, just as you do. You know, it's not pretty. It's not hard, is it, to hit a 9 data? Gerwin Price doesn't do it night.
You know what's something annoying? I'll predict Mike van Gerwen and he still won't win a night. And it's just going to be one of them, I can't predict him every bloody night to win one.
What's your score prediction for the final then, for Van Gerwen against Price?
6-3 Van Gerwen.
I've gone 6-3, the opposite way. Wow. We couldn't be any more.
Because I just think the final, if this build up the final, expecting it to be the last year decider. So I just think one player would just probably won away, like it has done in the past Premier League night finals. So I've done 6-3 Van Gerwen, but I mean, we both of us could be competing one because it sums this Premier League up so far, which is very good. It's unpredictable, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Any one of those 8, I think, could win a night. Whether all 8 of them
apart from Michael Smith.
Well, yeah, apart from Michael Smith. But we've gone through the small matter of the first Euro Tour and a round of the Premier League, but the first one of the majors of the calendar year gets underway at Butlins Minehead on the weekend, and it is the 2022 UK Open. I've got all.
It's going to be a very long tournament.
It is going to be a very long tournament, especially to do a watch along on. But we're not going to go in too much of a massive sort of. We're not going to go too in detail for this because there will be a tournament preview either tomorrow or Thursday night ahead of the tournament with me and Chris.
This towards fits, man.
But we're going to take it one round at a time. So the first round, of course, is the 16 Riley's qualifiers. plus the lowest ranked players of the tour cards and through secondary tours like the development tour and
Some good games last year, yeah.
Yeah. But I just want you to give me from the left side and the right side, your 2 round 1 ties. Like I said, not going to go in terms of predictions for this. This is just a preview ahead of the tournament. And then we'll just give a quick prediction of who we think the final will be between. Obviously, we don't know because it's an open draw, but we can say who we think might reach the final. So what is your round 1 tie from these? Like I said, 1 from the left, 1 from the right.
Oh, I mean, they're pretty. There's 2 standouts from the left, in my opinion. I do think you know which ones they are.
One of them. Let me just have a look.
Jim Williams, Wayne Murray, for me, is one of them.
And then Bradley Brooks against Raby John.
Nope.
Let me have a look. Before you say it, I'll.
Don't hide my face.
Mario van den Boogaard.
Oh my god, he's fucking diet.
Against Van Dongen.
I don't know. I mean, I do agree with you on Platypus with John Reeders, but I just think...
I don't think he'll win it, Jan, but, you know... do you know what? I'd love him to win it. I'd love any Riley's qualifier or low position tour card holder to win it. I would prefer that over a Gerwyn Price. And I know I'm a massive Gerwyn Price fan, but imagine how amazing that would be for someone like a Steve Clayson or something who's a kitchen fitter, 59 years of age. But yeah, carry on what you were saying.
Yeah, Mario van den Boogaard versus Jules van Donden. And people come at me in the comments and then saying, of course, he said Jules van Donden. I just think that's why I said 5th pretty draw, because it's a tough draw, unfortunately, for Jules van Donden.
They were both excellent at Q School as well, weren't they? Van den Boogaard and Van Dongen.
I just think it's going to be a horrible game to predict that one. It doesn't go either way. Or it could actually be a stinker, and one of them will just pretty scrape over the line. Now we build it up to be a pretty a world beater game.
I
just think Jim Williams got a dangerous first round game as well against Wayne Murray. Because
against Nick Falwell is another tough game that is hard to call. I'll tell you what, the first round, some of these games in this first round, even on the right-hand side, you look at Darren Webster against Justicia.
I agree.
John O'Shea, Nathan Rafferty. That's a first-round game. Matt Campbell, Bielecki, who hit a 9 data last year. I mean, I'm going to ask you
say Wayne Harrington with Rusty Shepherd Readers as well.
I'm going to ask you for 2. Give me your 2 best. You can only pick 2.
Fucking hell.
I'm just going to say my 2
you cheeky dick.
My 2 is Bradley Brooks against Raby John Rodriguez as game 1. And game 2, John O'Shea against Nathan Rafferty is my 2.
Right, game 1, Mario van den Boogaard against Jules van Donden. And on the other side, I think it has to be, for me, it has to be Dan Webster against Jose. Jose Justicia.
I mean, look,
I have to go for that.
Look at some of these first round players. It's absolutely stacked. You've got Danny Lauby, excellent in 2 World Championship appearances against Searle and William O'Connor. You've got George Killington, who has played fantastically. Josh Rock, John O'Shea, Nathan Rafferty in that game. Ross Montgomery, who started well on the tour. And then you look at the other side, you've got Prakash Jiwar, who's been at this event loads of times. Jim Williams, absolute amazing player. Ryan Murray, Portella, Raby John, Schmutzler as well, Kaifan Lung, Everett, Burnett. It's absolutely stacked.
There's too many of them. I even think the Scottish cats as well, Sean MacDonald and Jamie Clark.
He was excellent at Q Score, Jamie Clark.
And Sean McDonald, from what I've seen from, not a bad player either. So
yeah. So there's our round one tie.
I mean Danny Albi against that German lad, of course, who made that one as well.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Jesus.
Right. With all that madness, we then go on to round two, where some very, very good ties will start to come out of the creeks. Like I said, we're not going to go into this too deep because there will be a preview show tomorrow night. But there is one game that is shouting out at me massively, and that's Louis Williams against Martin Schindler.
Oh, pretend to be shocked by that.
What a game!
Yeah, good then. Yeah, I think that's gonna be close then, Matthew. Yeah, tough one to call. I wouldn't want to predict that then. But obviously, I know your prediction for that game already. You're gonna back your Welsh mob.
Well, yeah, my tie of the round from this side is Louis Williams against Schindler, but there is one that I think could really be a good tie, and that's the winner of Brooks Rabajon Rodriguez against Gordon Mathers. Again, is another good tie. You look down the list, potentially Klassen versus Cameron Menzies. My God, what a tie that!
I mean, the problem with this one is it's all if, buts, and maybes. If this player goes through and all that.
That's why Louis Williams Schindler is actually a good draw, because they will guaranteed play each other. But I'm going to go Louis Williams and Schindler from this side.
I agree on that one.
This side is tough. I'll let you take it first, because I still need to have a look at this, because I'm not too sure, to be honest. Oh no, I've got it. I've got mine straight away. Actually, should it go to plan? That is, should it go to plan? I've gone for. Is it? Yeah.
I'm staying safe. I'm going Jonathan Ward's here against Neil Sonnenfeld.
Good game.
This is a very good game, in my opinion.
I'm going to go for the potential of Matt Campbell beating Bielecki to play Joe Mernon. That could be unbelievable if Joe Mernon plays to Joe Mernon's ceiling.
Yeah, that's what I'm putting it on to. But I mean, if it does to plan, I would actually fancy Matt Campbell to get over the island Joe Mernon, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. There is an interesting point that I do want to touch on as well. With all, politics and stuff like that aside, Boris Koltsov withdrew from the tournament. I'm not going to get into the politics of it, because obviously,
I think you know my opinion on it.
We know what's gone on in the world, but personally, I think you shouldn't be putting him as a buy. You've got enough time to get a replacement in. The same as Michael Unterbuchner that has pulled out. You should be getting buys into this. It's the biggest. I know the World Championship is massive in terms of prize money, but this is like Christmas for darts fans, isn't it? An open draw. Anyone can draw anyone. Personally, I think you should be getting replacements in for UK Open.
Especially with the replacing with the qualifiers who were at the qualifiers who missed out by one match yesterday. They got in the final. Qualifying time for this tournament. So give it to the runner-up. Give that player another chance.
Yeah,
I have my opinions on sports people from that country that are now getting banned, that can't compete. I don't agree with that. I just think it's harsh, but
yeah, absolutely, and exactly what Yankee Clipper says. You should be having replacements for this event, 100%.
Because they're not going to ban them forever. I don't think we're gonna. I think we all know that. I think they are going to come back at some point, like a couple of months' time, where hopefully it is what's going on in the world right now. It's all over. And I mean, to be fair, if you're banning sponsors and all that, and you're banning sports teams, like they have done in football, and then if you ban sports teams, then obviously sports people are obviously going to get banned as well. I mean, it's like in tennis that Medvedev, he's now world number one, and now all of a sudden that could cross apart from him because of what's going on in the world right now.
In Formula One, he's Russian, isn't he, Mazepan?
Yeah, but I have my opinions on him. I don't think he deserves to be. I don't think he deserves to be in F1 in the first place because I put it down to the sponsor money, how he got in. That's how he got in my opinion. But yeah, I think it's hard. I do think it's hard, but at the moment, we just need to do something about it, don't we? And we need to not punish them, but punish the nutcase at the top, to say it nicely. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what I think, anyways.
Right,
and I'm not gonna, I don't really want to get onto it anymore, being honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a touchy subject, to be honest, isn't it? But now we're moving on to the third round, where I think it's 33 to 64, is it? No, I can't remember. 33 to 48 or something like that. But
yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's 64. The first round is. I mean, the second one was 96, and then the first round. I don't know.
Fourth round, 33 to 64, third round, 65 to 96, second round, 97 to 128.
So yeah, you were right, 64.
Yeah. So looking at the third round, then there's some fantastic ties that are already determined. But there's also a few ties that if, things go in the way that they could do, there could be some absolute unbelievable ties. But there's a couple of ties that shout out to me straight away. I'm going to let you take the rein on this one. One from the left, one from the right. Tie of the rounds.
Well, from the right, I think I have to go for Wayne van Barneveld against we Borland.
However, I will play devil's advocate for this one. We could potentially see a Jim Williams Alan Suter game, which I think would be unbelievable in a race to 6 legs. But yeah, I would agree. I think it probably will be Ball and Barney as the game of the round, because if you think about it, Williams,
then it depends.
Murray, Van Velde, and Mansell to get there, but. Yeah,
it does depend on which Barney turns up and which Bourne turns up.
Yeah, that's another thing. None of them would have played the game at this point. So, we
don't know what type of form Barney is being done to this.
Yeah.
But I think we've seen Bourne, we have seen Bourne a few times, haven't we? The Fairmont Tour. I think that was the one, wasn't it? But yeah, I think Jim Williams, if all does stand, then yeah, Jim Williams and Suter is another one. And then
Jeffrey Desvan against Keane Barry could be another one as well.
Even on the right hand side, even William O'Connor against one of them three. Connor Stott, Mario van den Bondard, or Charles van Dondon. Three of them, which annoys me. Where my spice practices before the bloody draw was made, and this sums my bloody luck up.
All three of them are in the same section of the draw.
So I think that could be cracking down whoever we O'Connor faces, in my opinion.
So what was your actual tie of the round? Was it Barney Borland?
Barney Borland, yeah. On the right hand side.
Left hand side, then I've got two. And don't worry, guys. None of them include Adrian Lewis. You've got to have two good players in a good game. Sorry, AD. I'm going to get slated for that. He's a 2-time world champion. But I've got two. But obviously, there's no point me telling you we've got to pick one, and then I can pick two. So I'm going to have to try and pick one of them. But I'll let you go first. You probably know exactly which ones I've gone for, but I'm stuck between.
I see. There's there's actually quite some interesting ties on the left-hand side, in my opinion. I've gone for the top one. Going Hempel.
That's one of mine. So I'm going to choose the other one then.
If all doors are kind of taught, I mean, Lucas Gwen could be an old German class. T&T, good player as well. And I think even any of them, in my opinion, Sean Hempel will be quite a tough game for him, in my opinion.
Well, you've gone for the top one. That was one of my options. My other options was the bottom one. Because what a game. Brooks or Rout. I mean, if it scored a Mathers, I'll be so underwhelmed. But
I mean, imagine them two. Ugh.
Bradley Brooks or Raby John Rodriguez to play Ryan Meikle. That is some game. So that's the one that I've gone for. So I've gone Brooks, Raby John.
There's too many of them. Too many.
Versus Meikle. Chris has gone Hempel versus Good, K, Warner or Venig, and we've both gone Barney or Borland.
Right, so I've basically just done for both of the top ones, where you? From both sides.
Right. By Sunday evening, this will get filled out. The semi-final and the final. Oh. We don't know who's going to be there. We could be having Gerwin Price versus Peter Wright in the fourth round. We could have Michael Van Gerwen versus Johnny Clayton in the fourth round. We have absolutely no idea. But I want you to give me the two finalists and who you think wins the 2022 UK Open.
I did say Gerwin Price versus Mike Van Gerwen in the final, but that was, again, I was thinking that before. It's not still open. And I think we're going to have another showdown between Gerwin Price and Peter Wright in the final of the UK Open.
Wow.
But Mike will like my prediction, who I went for to win. I just think Gerwin Price, whenever he seems to meet Peter Wright in the final, he always seems to have the chops to overcome Peter Wright in the final, clancy on the darts, for example. Even though Peter Wright can talk utter twivel and say I'm tired, I was tired and all that.
Yeah. He was better than Al. No bias from me, obviously.
So yeah, I think Gerwin Price will win the UK Open. He hasn't won it before, and I think he'll be wanting to win it and hold Peter Wright off for another tournament for the world number one spot.
Well, you've all been waiting for it. Jan's thoughts on Dimmy. I'll get into that in a minute. There won't be a question time this time because we are both in a bit of a rush this evening. But I've gone for a shock final. I've gone Gerwin Price to win the UK Open. I think Gerwin Price beats Luke Humphries in the final. I think Luke Humphries makes
interesting
UK Open finals. And I'm also chucking another outside bet in there. Ryan Searle makes the semi-finals.
Oh, tough and obvious, you.
I think he loses to Gerwin Price, but I've gone Gerwin Price 11.
Yeah, not bad shouts, to be fair.
Gerwin Price 11, Humphries 7 is what I think Peter Wright could lose early doors as well. I think he's going to stumble against I'm not going to say a crap player like Matt Good or something like that, but I think he might lose to someone like an Adam Hunt or Kim Huybrecht, someone like that. But that is my prediction anyway.
Got my outsiders. I'm going to pick two of them. I know I picked 5 on my predictions, home predictions, but I picked 2 of them. I've done for Simon Whitlock and Tom Woods as my outsiders.
My outsiders, I'll pick 2 then. Luke Humphries is not an outsider. I'm not going to class him as an outsider. For me, an outsider will be 24th down, in my opinion. So I think below Brendan Duck. Maybe Whitlock at just a slight thing.
Oh, fucking, it's done.
I'm going to go...
Mervyn King's one of them as well. He's pretty...
My 2 outsiders, the first one, I'm going to go Darius Labanauskas. And then my second outsider, I'm going to go Damon Heta. Damon Heta and Darius. One from outside the top 32 and one towards the lower end of the top 32.
See, for me, Simon Whitlock was an U and R one for outside, because if I put him as an outsider, people be like, but he won the Hooping Darts Championship all them years ago. And we know what Simon Whitlock, and we all know what Simon Whitlock is obviously made of.
Yeah.
When he plays a bid, I still class him as an outsider.
Yeah, I think he just gets in as an outsider for me, just about.
And I just think Tom Woods, I think people have done quiet on him, Tom Woods as well, recently.
Yeah.
And I think he's done a continuous form from the World Championship and the World Match Play, where he made that tournament one, and I think he'll be the same again. Just someone to look out for, in my opinion. I might be one, but I think I wouldn't be shocked if he's even in the last stages of this tournament.
Yeah, definitely someone to look out for is the Riot. But what an absolute stat-packed episode of the podcast that was. We didn't even need to fill any gaps with... we haven't got time for question times. We're very close to the 1 hour mark, but it's been an absolute pleasure getting you on again, Chris. Just shout out your channel, because I do know you are. In fact, shout out your channel a second. I'll put it in the chat. I do know you're very close to 70 subscribers, so just tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, find me on YouTube at Chris Wells. It's just on my banner. Keep it simple with my name, with my channel name. I don't do all the top with it. And but yeah, where I do Carlisle, Liverpool, England, F1, darts, boxing content, and I'm even pretty thinking of adding tennis to it as well.
Sports, you may as well call it that.
At some point, yeah, I don't like many sports like golf. Don't imagine that golf.
Do you bowls, lawn bowls, ice hockey, but no, I've just.
That's my channel basically, and there will be content coming up with obviously F1 season starting as well in 2 weeks' time.
I might get into F1 this year. I've
thought I got this pretty UK Open tournament coming up.
Well, that's going to be to do the predictions for. But anyway, thanks for joining us for episode 7, guys, in the chat, and more than thanks to Chris for coming on. Please do make sure if you have. Yeah, it's been great. I'll tell you what, 7 episodes in and it hasn't even felt like it. We're currently 4 likes away from 20 likes, which is absolutely unbelievable. So when you're leaving the stream, please make sure to drop us a like and subscribe. We will be back again tomorrow. The same 2 people trying to go through the entirety of the UK Open, which is going to be a very long stream. So
5-hour stream.
make sure you've got half the day ready for us. But Carlisle? Chris is off to Carlisle. I'm off to Newport. But like I said, smash those likes. Subscribe to Chris. I have put his link in the chat, so go over to subscribe to him. I'll see you tomorrow for the preview for the UK Open. There will be a vlog coming out tonight for the Newport game against Forest Green. The Premier League.
Newport.
Yes.
I want to see Forest Green bottle it.
Oh, no, that would be beautiful. We will be back, like I said, for the preview tomorrow. Premier League of Darts watch along on Thursday, and then the madness that is going to be the watch alongs for the UK Open. Thanks for joining us, guys. From me and Chris, we will see you next time. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Tuesday. Well, we'll see you tomorrow for the preview, but we'll see you next Tuesday for episode 8.